Rudy, as you look at the last game of the season and kind of look at your body of work over this whole season, what would you say defensively you're most proud of?
I would say as a team, we were resilient. We had some ups and downs. We had stretches when we weren't playing to our standards defensively, and then we had some really good stretches when we really found our defense and we were able to do it consistently. So proud of the group, and I think we really realized that this is our identity. When we put our focus on the defensive end, we are the best version of ourselves, and coming into the playoffs, this is definitely our mindset.
And that mindset, do you feel like it just kind of clicks in and everyone's kind of on the same page with that, even though like tonight?
For sure. I mean, obviously you need to score to win basketball games, but for us, it's really interesting that where we really all individually and collectively really come in with that mindset, defensive mindset. We actually play better offensively too, and it just creates this. It's like we get rewarded for the work that we put in, and then this is a big part of who we are as a team.
You talk a lot about build good habits throughout the course of the season. Do you feel like this team built enough good habits and tendencies as you approach the playoffs here?
I think we're gonna find out. But what I do think is that we're aware of who we are, and we're aware of our flaws as a team and what can hold us back. And so I like that. I think now we have an opportunity to all get ready for an opportunity to achieve our goal of winning a championship. And we know that we're going to face some really, really good teams. But we also know that we're capable of beating anyone. That our biggest competition is ourselves, and we've seen that the last few years, and we are aware of that, and it's going to be about our mindset. That's all it's about. We have everything we need in this locker room to get where we want to get, and it's really going to come down to our level of maturity and level of commitment and resilience as a group.
Rudy, has that been frustrating or hard to kind of deal with all season long, because you do have such high expectations, and then to kind of see that maybe this team hasn't really been able to go on the run that you want because you're holding yourselves back, I guess, and having that feeling of it?
For sure. As a competitor, there was a lot of still obviously we where we want to be as a team, which is we in the playoffs, and we have an opportunity to. We have to win 16 games, so we are kind of where we want to be. But it's true that there was stretches in the season where obviously we were being frustrated by some of the results. But at the same time, every season is different, and every season has its kind of adversity. And this year we all had different kind of adversity, individually, collectively, and now we really have an opportunity to come together at the right time, and it's exciting. I'm very excited that I feel like every type of adversity, there's always a lesson with it, and I think we learned a lot this year about who we want to be and who we don't want to be, and now I think, who doesn't want to play for a championship? I mean, it's if you don't get excited by that, then there's no reason to talk about it. But I think we are. I think we all believe in ourselves. We all believe that we have a big opportunity.
Has this last week been good for you guys? I mean, seed is locked in. You guys can get a little rest and recuperate a little bit, and for you individually as well. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really. Last year was different. We had to play until the last game. Really, this year, I think we had a couple of guys coming back from injuries, and then we had guys like Julius and myself that been really healthy all year and been banged up and still push through it. Play almost every back to back. So it's been a really happy season for us, but we been able to take a step back right now and watch the team and also recover mentally, physically. It's a huge blessing.
How have Kyle and Io improved this team's defense?
Tremendously, tremendously. I mean, Ayo brings some physicality, on the perimeter, some rebounding. So it's, some toughness. It's exactly what we needed, and Kyle also has that. He's very versatile, so he can guard different type of players, and he's a very high IQ player. So it's, he knows who we are. So it's been here before. So we already have that chemistry defensively, and he knows that obviously playing with me or playing with the Julius and Naz, he has to play a little differently defensively. But he brings a lot of value to our team.
Are they thoroughly integrated, in your opinion? I mean, the rotations now in a way that kind of everybody can know what's going on and how things are going to go?
I mean, I think they're both very mature, and they both, I think, they both understand that we need them tremendously, but the coaching staff going to make the decisions. Every game is different. Every playoff series is different. The matchups and all that. So, I think for all of us, not just them, for all of us, like we understand that, we're going to need everyone, and everyone has a big role and we're going to have opportunity to bring something to the table.
Rudy, what do you make of the defense this season being substantially better with you on the court versus off the court, and then on offense, you guys aren't scoring as high of a clip with you on the court as off? How do you kind of just read that?
I mean, when I'm on the court, I just try to win. So it's like, then when you get to sit back and then look at the numbers, it's always, every year is always a little different, right? So I think, I think obviously defensively this year I don't have the numbers, but yeah, I am
It's like
who I
12
am.
points better defensive rating with you on versus.
So what is that like?
It's like 1-0.
So in terms of in the league, I think I saw something, but it's hard for me to know. Like, is it like second best in the league?
Yeah, the differential when it's on, when
Okay.
you're on versus off.
So second best, and what is when I'm off?
When you're off, you guys are scoring at like over 120 offensive rating, but allowing over 120 as well. So it's just like a whole nother level of. There's a
Okay.
lot more offense and there's a lot less defense when you're off the floor in terms
Okay.
of the numbers.
Yeah, so every year is different, but obviously, I do think on both ends actually, I think we still have we haven't tapped into our full potential. I think me offensively, it's this year I've had some ups and downs. I think as a team, it's really about our chemistry, about how we move the ball and how we our decision making, our efficiency, all of these things. So playoff time, I'm excited for us to also come get some of these guys like that just got here also like more and more acclimated to the group and to the team. And defensively, I mean, like I said, we know that every time I step on the court, I try to be the best in the world in what I do and impact my team in that way. So playoff time is all about winning. So I'm excited about that.
Rudy, do you compare yourself to other defenders? Like, look at the seasons they've had versus you when you're kind of just evaluating your own season, and like how do you think you measure up?
I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to the game of basketball too. So I understand that not everything is in the numbers and in analytics, but it's good to understand both, right? And so I like to pay attention to how are these other guys impacting and how am I impacting the game. It's always a pretty good indicator, right? Because in the day and age of social media, you can make anyone look like a great defender, and you can make any great defender look like a bad defender if you want to, right? So it's good to look at the numbers and look at, to me, the impact is really what's the most important thing. You know, how is your team doing when you're there compared to when you're not there? It's the best indicator because there's so many things that you can do on the court that can be measured by pure stats. And even the eye test for most of people, there's a lot of things that they don't get to understand, you know, and so yeah, I like to pay attention to that.
Rudy,
Last one, guys.
how important is this next week of practice going to be for preparing for whatever playoff point you guys get?
It's huge. It's huge. You know, we're on a mission, and it starts. I mean, it don't start today. It started years ago, I would say. But right now, it's really when we really need to lock in and have that tunnel vision. You know, we have one goal and one goal only, and we all need to put that in our head and get ready for war. You know, get ready for war and get ready for. You know, we really have to cut out the distractions. Understand that we are all that we have. You know, it's about being close together and being brothers. And you know, we're gonna have great games and everyone's gonna praise us. And we're gonna have bad moments and everyone's gonna shit on us. And in both cases, we have to stick to who we are. You know, this is the beauty of playing for a championship.